Have you ever pondered what truly shapes the complete portrait of a grown human being? Is it the marks of time etched deeply through long journeys, the invisible scars left by layers of hardship, or the fire of will tempered through relentless battles with oneself in an effort to overcome personal limitations? These questions, perhaps, have echoed in the minds of each person on the vast journey called life. And on that journey, each of us is an Odysseus, adrift on the sea of life, facing countless trials, temptations, and losses, ultimately hopping to find a peaceful shore, a place where we truly belong. And amidst the endless flow of time, Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey, still stands tall like a lighthouse illuminating humanity's path to maturity. More than just an ancient tale about a Greek king on his way home, the Odyssey is a priceless treasure of knowledge, a spiritual map guiding each of us on our journey of self-discovery. Odysseus's journey is not merely an adventure back home, but a profound metaphor for the process of growing up, exploring oneself, and surpassing one's own limits. This article will focus on exploring 5 quintessential lessons we can draw from Odysseus's arduous journey: patience to overcome difficulties, resilience after failures, the power of self-control in the face of temptations, the sacred value of family, and the spirit of embracing change to adapt to life. To clarify these lessons, the article will delve into analyzing the plot, the character of Odysseus, and relating them to the experiences and challenges that each of us faces in modern life. In each person's life, perhaps patience and persistence are qualities that are both discreet, quiet, and yet powerful and extraordinary. We often think of patience as simply waiting, but in reality, it's like a small fire burning steadily in our hearts, an inner strength that helps us move forward, even when the road ahead is hazy and full of difficulties. In today's society, everything happens very quickly, and we often measure success by immediate results. Therefore, patience and persistence become even more valuable. It's not just the ability to endure hardship, but also the proactiveness, determination to pursue long-term goals, and the diligence to build true values, no matter how many challenges and failures we face. From building a solid career, achieving academic success, to nurturing meaningful relationships, all require patience and persistence within each person. In the epic poem, the Odyssey, the 20-year journey of King Odysseus returning to Ithaca is a powerful example of the strength of patience and persistence. 20 years is a very long time, enough to change everything. During the 10 years of war in Troy, the Greek army, under the leadership of Agamemnon and the strategic Tai Mu L letter 1B0, letter 1E3C of Odysseus, had to face the resilience of Troy, the endless battles, and the fatigue and discouragement of the soldiers. Throughout those 10 years, Odysseus's patience was demonstrated not only in his endurance of hardship, but also in maintaining morale, inspiring hope for the troops, and finding new strategies to escape the difficult situation. He was not discouraged by the prolonged war, but on the contrary, became more determined and persistent in finding a path to victory. It was that patience that helped him devise the Trojan horse plan, a brilliant strategy that helped the Greek army win after 10 long years. However, 10 years of war was only the beginning of Odysseus's journey to test his patience and persistence. 10 years of wandering on the vast sea is truly the great story of his patience and extraordinary will. After leaving the fallen city of Troy, Odysseus and his crew encountered countless dangers, challenges that seemed impossible to overcome. From the great storms caused by the angry god Poseidon, sinking ships and taking the lives of comrades, to encounters with strange creatures, monsters like the fierce cyclops Polyphemus, the bloodthirsty giant Laestrygonians, or the sirens with their deadly enchanting voices. Each challenge was a powerful blow to Odysseus's will and strength. Then there were times of getting lost in the open sea, running out of food and drink, facing death, despair that seemed to drown out all hope. But no matter the circumstances, Odysseus never gave up. He persistently steered the boat of life, overcoming each large wave, each storm, each dark night. His patience was not just passive endurance, but actively seeking solutions, relentless persistence, and a strong belief in the ultimate goal, returning to Ithaca, reuniting with his family. Among so many difficulties, perhaps the 2 clearest examples showing Odysseus's patience and persistence are the time he was imprisoned by the goddess Calypso for 7 years, and the journey of rowing across the sea alone after losing all his ships and comrades. 7 years of captivity on the island of Ogygia, beautiful as paradise, loved and pampered by the goddess Calypso, promised immortality, a life of eternity without worry. It was a very great temptation, an extremely difficult test for Odysseus's patience and his goal of returning to Ithaca. If he had succumbed to that temptation, he could have lived a happy, carefree life, no longer facing dangers and challenges. But Odysseus did not choose that easy path. Despite living in confinement, despite his deep longing for home, he remained steadfast in his will, patiently waiting for an opportunity. And finally, with the help of the goddess Athena and the god Hermes, he was freed from the island and continued his journey home. And when his ship was sunk by the god Poseidon, all his comrades died. Odysseus was alone in the vast sea, without a ship, without food, without hope. In a situation that seemed hopeless, an ordinary person might have collapsed and given up. But Odysseus was no ordinary person. He used the remaining broken planks, built a small raft himself, and rowed alone, drifting on the sea day and night. What strength helped him overcome that terrible challenge, if not extraordinary patience and persistence, a will that never fades? From Odysseus's arduous journey, we learn a very valuable lesson. Patience and persistence are the keys to all success. In today's life, we are often caught up in the fast pace of life, wanting quick success, easily discouraged when faced with difficulties and failures. But great achievements, true values, never come easily. Look at the success stories of famous people, successful entrepreneurs, great scientists. We will see their common point is perseverance, persistence in pursuing goals, not afraid of hardship, not afraid of failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by many publishers before Harry Potter became world famous. And many other scientists and inventors have spent decades, even their entire lives, diligently researching and experimenting to achieve great scientific achievements. They are all living examples of the sayings, patience and perseverance can accomplish anything. Constant dripping wears away the stone. Travel a day, learn a sack of wisdom. Patience and persistence not only help us succeed, but are also the best way to overcome discouragement and procrastination. In life, everyone has moments of fatigue, boredom, wanting to give up. That's when we want to procrastinate everything, easily attracted by temporary pleasures, wanting to avoid responsibility. But it is patience that will help us overcome those negative emotions. When discouraged, remember Odysseus's difficult journey. Tell yourself that difficulties are only temporary, and if we are patient and persistent enough, we will overcome everything. Break down big goals into smaller goals, accomplish them step by step, and reward yourself when you achieve small successes along the way. Seek help from friends, family, those around you, and create motivation for yourself. And most importantly, always believe in yourself, believe in your goals, and never lose hope. The ancients had a saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. This famous saying shows a simple but very profound truth. Great achievements, great works all need time and persistent building. There is no shortcut to true success, no magic that turns dreams into reality overnight. All require constant effort, patience to overcome all challenges, and persistence in pursuing goals to the end. Look at the great architectural works such as the Great Wall of China, the Egyptian pyramids, or famous works of art such as Mona Lisa. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, all are the result of the patience, persistence, and special talent of those who created them. And now, as we have together learned about Odysseus's patience and persistence, let's ask ourselves, in your life, what long-term goals are you pursuing? It could be a dream job, a university degree, a long-term relationship, or just a good habit you want to have. Whatever that goal is, remember that patience and persistence are the keys for you to open the door to success. Learn from Odysseus, ignite the fire of patience in your heart, and start your journey with steady, determined steps. Believe that with patience and persistence, no mountain is too high, no road is too far, and no dream is impossible to achieve. In life's journey, no one can avoid stumbles, failures, and unexpected upheavals that come like raging waves. Life is inherently a series of ups and downs, moments of glory interspersed with dark periods. The important thing is not to evade these stumbles, as that is inevitable, but how we face and overcome them. Resilience, also known as resilience, is the inner strength that helps us. Fall where you may, rise there you must. Not simply enduring difficulties, but also the ability to adapt, learn from painful experiences, and even become stronger after adversity. In today's volatile society, where each individual faces work pressures, complex relationships, economic and social uncertainties, and personal losses such as job loss, emotional breakdowns, illness, or the passing of loved ones, resilience becomes even more essential. It is the lifebuoy that helps us weather life's storms, the fire that warms the soul in cold winter nights, and the motivation for us to continue walking, even if the road ahead is full of thorns. To vividly illustrate the power of resilience, once again, the journey of Odysseus appears as a vibrant picture, profoundly illustrating this quality. Throughout 20 years of wandering, Odysseus endured countless failures, losses, and adversities that seemed to want to crush his will. Let us revisit the scars that life has left on the journey of this hero to better understand the extraordinary resilience hidden within him. First of all, one of the greatest losses Odysseus had to bear was the loss of his comrades. From the time he left Troy until he set foot on the shores of Ithaca, Odysseus's loyal crew gradually vanished, some falling to fierce monsters, some perishing in terrible storms, and some dying from their own foolishness and greed. Let us recall the image of Odysseus painfully witnessing his comrades being devoured by Cyclops Polyphemus in the dark cave, or the horrific scene when the fleet was attacked by the giant Laestrygonians, blood flowing like rivers, corpses floating on the vast sea. Then, when crossing the Strait of Messina, he was forced to choose between Scylla and Charybdis, and painfully watched 6 of his best comrades being snatched and dragged into the rock cave by Scylla, the six-headed monster. After each loss, Odysseus not only endured grief and spiritual loss, but also faced loneliness, the burden of responsibility to lead the remaining men and the haunting memory of tragic deaths. But even so, he did not collapse. He suppressed the pain in his heart, continued to steer the ship, encouraged the survivors, and sought ways to overcome the next challenges. The loss of comrades was not only a personal tragedy, but also an inevitable part of the journey, and Odysseus learned to accept, overcome, and continue to move forward. Not stopping at the loss of comrades, Odysseus also faced times of losing all ships and possessions. After blinding Cyclops, he incurred the wrath of Poseidon, the sea god, Polyphemus's father. Poseidon relentlessly caused storms, sinking Odysseus's ships, pushing him into dangerous situations. The climax was when Odysseus's entire fleet was destroyed by Zeus's lightning after the foolish crew ate the cattle of the god Helios. Odysseus was left alone, stranded in the open sea, having lost everything, ships, possessions, and even his last comrades. In that situation, one can easily imagine the despair, the utter loneliness that Odysseus must have experienced. But what is astonishing is that even when falling into the abyss of loss, Odysseus still did not give up. He utilized what was left, clung to a broken plank, and built himself a raft, drifting on the vast sea, continuing his journey home. He did not let loss overwhelm him, but on the contrary, turned it into motivation to rise up, to prove his extraordinary resilience. Furthermore, in addition to tangible losses of possessions and people, Odysseus also faced challenges to his loyalty, from both outside and within. Even his closest comrades, those who had fought alongside him for 10 years in Troy, sometimes did not keep their oaths, betraying him, such as when they ignored warnings and ate the cattle of the god Helios, leading to annihilation. This betrayal not only caused serious material consequences, but also left deep wounds in Odysseus's heart, causing him to confront doubts about human nature, about loyalty and friendship. Then there were sweet temptations, empty promises, such as when the goddess Calypso offered him love and immortality, promising him an eternal life if he agreed to stay on the island of Ogygia. In moments of utter loneliness and despair, those temptations may have sown wavering in Odysseus's heart, causing him to struggle with himself, whether to abandon the goal of returning home to choose a peaceful, immortal life. These were enormous challenges to Odysseus's loyalty, to his family, to his homeland, to the values he had cherished for 20 years. But despite being betrayed, despite being tempted, Odysseus still overcame the inner turmoil, conquered moments of weakness, and maintained his loyalty to his family, to his homeland, to the values he cherished. He did not let betrayal shake his will, did not let temptations blind him, but remained steadfast on the path he had chosen, heading towards distant Ithaca. Thus, from the successive failures and losses that Odysseus endured, we realize a profound truth. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and the important thing is not to avoid failure, but how we face and learn from it. No one can live a completely smooth life without stumbles. Failure, loss, and difficulty are the most stern teachers, but also the greatest teachers, teaching us invaluable lessons about perseverance, courage, and resilience. Looking at successful figures around the world, we will see that behind every great success, there are always countless failures, stumbles, and painful falls. But it is these failures that have tempered their will, honed their mettle, and helped them grow, becoming stronger. Michael Jordan, the world basketball legend, was once cut from his high school basketball team, But he did not give up, but on the contrary became even more determined to practice, and eventually became one of the greatest athletes of all time. Walt Disney was once fired for lack of creative ideas, but he was not discouraged, but continued to pursue his passion and built the giant entertainment empire Disney. So what helped Odysseus overcome the suffering, loss, and regain the strength to continue his journey? The secret lies in the inner strength and self-healing ability hidden within him. Despite experiencing so many adversities, Odysseus always maintained optimism, fighting spirit, and self-belief. He did not collapse in the face of adversity, but always sought to adapt, learn from mistakes, and turn failures into motivation to rise up. Odysseus's self-healing ability is reflected in his ability to accept pain, face loss, and find ways to overcome spiritual wounds. He did not avoid negative emotions, but allowed himself to grieve, to mourn, but did not let those emotions overwhelm him. Instead, he sought to relieve the pain, seek comfort and encouragement from those around him, and gradually heal his heart wounds. In the modern world, each of us can also learn from Odysseus to build resilience for ourselves. One effective method is mindfulness, practicing living fully in the present moment, observing and accepting our emotions and thoughts without judgment. Mindfulness helps us reduce stress, anxiety, and enhance our ability to control emotions. Positive thinking also plays an important role in recovering from difficulties. Instead of focusing on the negative, try to look for the positive aspects in every situation and believe in your own abilities. And do not hesitate to seek support from family, friends, or mental health professionals when needed. Sharing difficulties and losses with others is not a sign of weakness, but an expression of courage and wisdom. Support from the community will help us feel loved, shared, and have more strength to overcome difficulties. To conclude, as the philosopher Nietzsche once said, "What does not kill you makes you stronger." This famous saying encapsulates a profound truth about human resilience. The challenges, difficulties, and losses in life are not obstacles preventing us from moving forward, but on the contrary are tests that help us train our mettle, temper our will, and grow stronger. Let us see life's scars as medals, hallmarks of perseverance and resilience. Be proud of what you have overcome, and believe that each time we stumble, we become stronger, more resilient, and ready to face new challenges on the road ahead. Look at the inspiring stories of resilience in life to better see the extraordinary strength of human beings. Malala Yousafzai, a young Pakistani girl shot in the head by the Taliban for fighting for girls' right to education, did not succumb to violence, but on the contrary, became a global symbol of resilience and courage, and won the Nobel Peace Prize. Nick Vujicic, a man born without arms or legs, overcame his inferiority complex and self-doubt, becoming a world-renowned inspirational speaker, igniting the fire of life and the ability to overcome fate in millions of people. And there are countless other examples of resilience in life, people who have turned pain into strength, turned failure into motivation, and proven to us that resilience is a boundless strength, hidden in each person, just waiting to be awakened and developed. Believe that no matter what difficulties you are facing, you also have strong resilience like Odysseus, like Malala, like Nick Vujicic. Fall where you may, rise there you must, and keep moving forward, because ahead there is always light, always hope, and always new opportunities waiting for you. In the vast journey of life, perhaps the fiercest battlefield, the most formidable opponent each person faces, is not some external force but themselves. For indeed, our true enemies often lie hidden within our minds, in our desires, lusts, negative thoughts, bad habits, and countless sweet, alluring temptations fraught with pitfalls. Self-control, also known as self-discipline, is the key to defeating this internal foe, the power that helps us master our lives, determine our fate, and reach noble goals. In the context of modern society, the concept of temptation has greatly expanded, no longer limited to mere material desires such as money, fame, power, but also encompassing countless subtle, irresistible baits creeping into every corner of life. There is the temptation of social media, with constant notifications, endless entertainment content, drawing us into a vortex of distraction and wasted time. There is the temptation of addiction, from stimulants and gambling to online games, causing us to lose reason, health, and future. There is the temptation of overconsumption, when we are caught in a spiral of excessive shopping, chasing after virtual values, losing true peace and happiness. And there is also the temptation of laziness, procrastination, when we easily compromise with ourselves, abandon goals, dreams, and accept a mediocre, dull life. In this world full of temptations, the ability to control oneself, self-discipline, becomes more important than ever, a solid anchor to help us maintain direction, not be swept away by the whirlpools of desire and distraction. Continuing our journey to explore the noble qualities of the hero Odysseus, from resilience in the face of adversity to remarkable recovery after loss. In this part, we will together explore an equally important quality: self-control and overcoming temptation. And once again, in Odysseus's arduous journey, we encounter profound lessons about this. On his way back to Ithaca, Odysseus faced countless challenges, not only from external forces, but also from internal temptations, desires, lusts, moments of weakness, wanting to give up everything. Let's analyze the sweet traps that Odysseus skillfully overcame to draw valuable lessons for our own lives. The first stop after the Trojan War, the land of the Lotus Eaters, laid out an invisible but extremely dangerous net of temptation, forgetfulness, and escapism. The people here lived a carefree life, knowing only the pleasures of enjoyment, immersed in the sweet taste of the lotus flower, a flower that makes people forget all worries, all goals, all aspirations. When some of Odysseus's comrades strayed to this island, they were quickly seduced by the peace and tranquility, forgetting their homeland, forgetting their mission, and wanting only to stay forever immersed in the lotus dream. The temptation of forgetfulness, of escaping reality, is a very common temptation in modern life. When faced with difficulties, pressures, failures, we easily turn to entertainment, means of escaping reality such as social media, online games, alcohol, stimulants. To forget problems, evade responsibilities, and seek temporary comfort and ease. But forgetfulness, escaping reality, is only a temporary solution and may even bring more serious consequences. It causes us to lose willpower, goals, lose the motivation to strive, and gradually fall into a state of stagnation and aimlessness. Odysseus clearly recognized the danger of this temptation. He did not allow himself and his comrades to be caught in the vortex of forgetfulness. He resolutely dragged his comrades who were indulging in the lotus dream back to the ship, reminding them of their goal of returning to Ithaca and continuing the arduous journey. The lesson here is that, to control oneself and overcome the temptation of forgetfulness, we must always maintain willpower, goals, constantly reminding ourselves of the values, responsibilities, and dreams we pursue. Next, Odysseus drifted to the island of Aea, the domain of the sorceress Circe, a powerful and seductive figure representing the temptation of pleasure and indulgence. Circe turned Odysseus's comrades into pigs, imprisoned them in her luxurious palace, and seduced Odysseus to stay, enjoying worldly pleasures, carnal delights. The temptation of pleasure, of indulgence, is one of the strongest temptations, always present in human life. Modern society, with countless forms of entertainment and indulgence, from lavish parties and expensive trips to fleeting love affairs, easily leads us astray, losing ourselves in momentary pleasures. We are easily caught in the vortex of indulgence, forgetting spiritual values, noble goals, and losing the ability to control ourselves. Odysseus, though also seduced by Circe's beauty and charm, did not completely lose his reason. With the help of the god Hermes, he neutralized Circe's magic, rescued his comrades, and even subdued the sorceress, turning her from an enemy into a companion, someone who helped him on his journey. The lesson here is that, to control oneself and overcome the temptation of pleasure, we need to be alert, rational, not to be swept away by momentary desires. Know how to enjoy the joys of life, but do not let them dominate, control us. Always uphold goals, ideals, and moral and spiritual values as a compass for our actions. One of the most famous challenges on Odysseus's journey was the encounter with the Song of the Sirens, seductive sea creatures capable of bewitching anyone who heard their song. The Sirens' song represents the temptation of fame, power, curiosity, and empty promises. They promise to bestow upon Odysseus infinite wisdom, knowledge of everything in the world, and immortal glory. The temptation of fame, power, curiosity is an extremely subtle temptation, often hidden beneath a glamorous, noble guise, making it easy for us to be deceived, losing direction. We are easily caught in the vortex of competition, envy, lust for power, status, and chasing after titles, vain praises, forgetting true values, meaningful goals. Odysseus was aware of the danger of the siren's song. He used beeswax to plug his comrades' ears, and tied himself to the mast, so that he could hear that mesmerizing song without being subdued. He demonstrated extraordinary self-control, excellent self-control, and alertness and wisdom in recognizing and facing temptation. The lesson here is that, to control oneself and overcome the temptation of fame, power, curiosity, we need to be humble, content, not chasing after virtual values, empty promises. Focus on realistic goals, sustainable values, and seek satisfaction and happiness from within, instead of depending on external factors. Finally, the goddess Calypso, who had held Odysseus captive for 7 years on the island of Odyssey, laid out a final temptation, but also the greatest temptation: immortality and ease. Calypso promised to grant Odysseus eternal life, without old age, without disease, without worry or sorrow, if he would stay by her side, forgetting Ithaca and Penelope. The temptation of immortality, of ease, is an extremely profound temptation, touching the human instinct for survival, the desire for eternity. We are easily seduced by the idea of a life without suffering, without worry, without facing death. But immortality, ease, is sometimes a sweet trap, causing us to trade more precious values such as freedom, love, family, and the true meaning of life. Odysseus struggled greatly within himself before making his final decision. He felt the allure of immortality, the ease that Calypso offered, but deep in his heart, he always yearned for Ithaca, for Penelope, for a finite but meaningful life. In the end, he chose to give up immortality, give up a life of ease in exchange for freedom to return to his family, to his homeland, and accept the law of human mortality. The lesson here is that, to control oneself and overcome the temptation of immortality, of ease, we need to cherish the true values of life, such as love, family, freedom, and the meaning of life. Accept the finiteness of human life, live each moment to the fullest, and seek happiness in simple, close things, instead of chasing after distant illusions. From the temptations that Odysseus overcame, we clearly see the power of self-discipline in controlling oneself, overcoming temptation, and achieving goals. Self-discipline is not innate, but a quality that needs to be trained and nurtured every day. To cultivate self-discipline, we need to recognize and confront the temptations in life. Ask yourself, what temptations often surround you? What is their nature? What are the consequences of succumbing to those temptations? Once you have identified the enemy, build an effective coping strategy. For example, if you are easily distracted by social media, set time limits for use, turn off notifications, or seek healthier alternative activities. If you are easily tempted by laziness, break down work into smaller parts, make a specific plan, and reward yourself after completing a goal. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything has its price, and temptations often hide potential dangers. Momentary pleasures may bring a feeling of comfort and ease, but in the long run, they can cause us to lose more precious values, even pay the price with our future. In modern society, temptations are increasingly sophisticated and diverse, especially those related to social media, overconsumption, and a lifestyle of indulgence. Social media addiction makes us lose focus, waste time, and drift away from real relationships. Overconsumption makes us chase after material values, losing peace of mind and spiritual happiness. A lifestyle of indulgence makes it easy for us to compromise with ourselves, abandon noble goals, and live a dull, mediocre life. To overcome these temptations, we need to build for ourselves a solid value system based on ethical principles, meaningful goals, and spiritual values. Focus on what is truly important in life, such as family, friends, health, personal development, and contributions to society. Live purposefully with ideals and constantly cultivate self-discipline to conquer the greatest enemy, which is yourself. Conquering oneself, controlling temptations, is the path to true freedom, happiness, and success. To practice self-discipline more specifically, you can practice mindfulness in daily life. Mindfulness, as mentioned in the previous part, is the ability to focus on the present moment, observe and accept thoughts and emotions without judgment. In controlling temptation, mindfulness helps us to more clearly recognize the urges, desires, negative emotions that are rising up, thereby being able to make wiser action choices instead of reacting instinctively. For example, when you feel the urge to surf social media unconsciously, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and observe that urge. Ask yourself, why do I want to surf social media right now? What am I trying to escape? Is there anything more important I need to do? Mindfulness gives you a pause to consider instead of acting habitually, and thereby make better self-controlled decisions. Apply positive thinking to face difficulties and temptations. Positive thinking is not about avoiding reality or deluding oneself, but the ability to view problems objectively, seek positive aspects, and believe in the ability to solve problems. When faced with temptation, positive thinking helps us focus on the long-term benefits of self-control instead of just looking at momentary pleasures. For example, when you are tempted by laziness and want to procrastinate work, tell yourself, If I complete this work, I will feel proud of myself, achieve my goals, and have more time for other more important things. Positive thinking helps you create motivation, overcome procrastination, and move towards bigger goals. Seek support from the community and those around you. Self-control is not a solitary battle. We always need support and encouragement from family, friends, colleagues, and the community. When feeling weak in the face of temptation, do not hesitate to share with those you trust. Advice, encouragement, or simply listening and sharing from others can also help us gain more strength to overcome difficulties. For example, if you are trying to quit a bad habit like sugar addiction, share this goal with friends or loved ones. They can become your allies, reminding, encouraging, and helping you overcome sugar cravings. In addition, you can also seek support from online or offline communities with common goals, such as groups overcoming social media addiction, living minimally, etc. The companionship and sharing from the community will help you feel less alone on the journey of self-control. To cultivate self-discipline more concretely, you can set clear limits for the use of social media and electronic devices. For example, set a fixed time of day to check notifications, limit the time spent using entertainment apps, or create technology-free zones in the house. Make a specific plan and break down goals. Instead of setting goals that are too large and vague, break them down into smaller, measurable steps, and make a plan to implement each step. Completing each small step will help you feel motivated and progress, thereby strengthening self-discipline. Create good habits to replace bad habits. For example, if you want to reduce TV viewing time, replace it with reading books, exercising, or learning a new skill. Replacing bad habits with good habits will make it easier for you to control yourself. Reward yourself after achieving small goals. Rewarding yourself in a healthy way after controlling temptation or achieving a goal will help you strengthen motivation and create a positive loop. The reward could be a relaxing evening, a favorite meal, or a healthy recreational activity. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything has its price, and temptations often hide potential dangers. Momentary pleasures may bring a feeling of comfort and ease, but in the long run, they can cause us to lose more precious values, even pay the price with our future. In modern society, temptations are increasingly sophisticated and diverse, especially those related to social media, overconsumption, and a lifestyle of indulgence. Social media addiction makes us lose focus, waste time, and drift away from real relationships. Overconsumption makes us chase after material values, losing peace of mind and spiritual happiness. A lifestyle of indulgence makes it easy for us to compromise with ourselves, abandon noble goals, and live a dull, mediocre life. To overcome these temptations, we need to build for ourselves a solid value system based on ethical principles, meaningful goals, and spiritual values. Focus on what is truly important in life, such as family, friends, health, personal development, and contributions to society. Live purposefully with ideals and constantly cultivate self-discipline to conquer the greatest enemy, which is yourself. Conquering oneself, controlling temptations, is the path to true freedom, happiness, and true success. In the long journey of life, no matter how far we go, how many new lands we experience, how many horizons we explore, there is always an invisible yet incredibly strong thread pulling us back. That thread is family and homeland, sacred concepts that hold profound spiritual values, emotions, and an irreplaceable sense of belonging. In the context of modern society, as the world becomes increasingly flat, and people move and connect easily, yet simultaneously face the risk of fragmentation and loneliness, the value of family and homeland becomes even more important. Family is not just a blood relationship, but also a place where we find warmth, love, unconditional acceptance, a solid spiritual anchor in a life full of changes. Homeland is not just a geographical area, but also a cultural origin, a place that preserves memories, traditional values, a place where we feel we belong, find meaning, and our own identity. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, as people become increasingly distant and lonely, cherishing and nurturing the values of family and homeland is not only a personal emotional need, but also the foundation for building a cohesive, humane, and sustainable society globally. And in the epic poem, the Odyssey, Odysseus's homesickness and love for his family are the red thread running throughout his entire journey, the most powerful motivation driving him to overcome all difficulties and hardships to return to Ithaca. Throughout 20 years of wandering, despite facing countless sweet temptations, promises of glory and wealth, even immortality in Odysseus's heart, the flame of longing for Penelope and Telemachus, his faithful wife and grown-up son whom he had been separated from for too long, always burned fiercely. The image of Penelope patiently weaving, day and night longing for her husband's return, the image of Telemachus growing up in loneliness, bravely facing the suitors, constantly lingered in Odysseus's mind, becoming an invisible source of strength, helping him overcome moments of weakness and despair. His longing for his wife and son is not just personal emotion, but also a symbol of sacred family love, a desire for reunion and togetherness, an awareness of the responsibility and duty of a husband and father. It was family love that helped Odysseus maintain his direction, not get lost in the sea of temptation, and constantly strive to return, even though the road ahead was full of thorns. And Ithaca, a barren, unfertile, and unglamorous rocky island, became a sacred symbol of homeland in Odysseus's heart. Ithaca is not just a geographical area, but a root, a birthplace, a place that preserves childhood memories, cultural and traditional values, a place where Odysseus fully belonged. Throughout his wandering journey, Odysseus had set foot on many beautiful, fertile lands, even been invited to stay on paradise islands, but no place could compare to Ithaca in his heart. For homeland is not just scenery, land, but also people, culture, profound spiritual values, a feeling of familiarity and warmth that cannot be found anywhere else. Ithaca is where Odysseus found the meaning of life, where he belonged, and where he longed to return to rebuild his kingdom, reunite with his family, and live a simple, happy life. Homesickness for Ithaca, love for his homeland, is not just personal emotion, but also a symbol of patriotism, attachment to one's roots, an awareness of responsibility and duty to the community and nation. And while Odysseus drifted on the vast sea, Penelope and Telemachus in Ithaca also demonstrated loyalty, patient waiting, and extraordinary courage, contributing to the sacred value of family and homeland. Penelope, the faithful wife for 20 long years, single-handedly shouldered the affairs of state, faced the harassment of hundreds of suitors, and raised Telemachus to adulthood. She showed extraordinary patience in waiting for Odysseus's return, intelligence and wisdom in dealing with the suitors, and absolute loyalty to her absent husband. Telemachus, the son who grew up without a father, early revealed maturity and courage, standing up to protect his family and kingdom from the rampant suitors. Both Penelope and Telemachus are symbols of steadfastness, courage, and deep family love, contributing to the immense spiritual strength that helped Odysseus overcome all challenges to return. Penelope's loyalty, Telemachus's maturity, are not just personal qualities, but also symbols of family strength, the bond between members, and the role of each person in protecting and building a home. From the story of Odysseus's family, we draw an extremely meaningful lesson. Family is the most solid spiritual anchor in each person's life. In a life full of difficulties, challenges, fatigue, and pressure, family is always the place we return to be loved, protected, comforted, and gain strength. Family is where we can be ourselves, without having to strain ourselves to play roles, without having to hide weaknesses and wounds. Family is where we find unconditional acceptance, deep understanding, and sincere companionship. No matter how turbulent and competitive life is, whether we succeed or fail, family is always a peaceful haven, a place where we belong, an endless source of strength helping us overcome all difficulties and challenges. Cherish the moments with family, spend time with loved ones, nurture family affection with care, sharing, and sincere love. Not only family, but also relationships with friends and the surrounding community play an extremely important role in each person's life. On his journey back to Ithaca, Odysseus received help and hospitality from many people, from the beautiful Princess Nausicaa to the loyal swineherd Eumaeus, and even the generous King Alcinous. Good relationships, sincere friends, are a great source of encouragement and motivation, helping us overcome difficult and lonely periods and feel life is more meaningful. Cherish the relationships around you, build and nurture beautiful friendships, good colleague relationships, and actively participate in community activities. To extend the arms of connection, seek empathy, sharing, and create good values for society. The need to seek belonging and meaning in life is one of the most basic and profound human needs. We always yearn to belong somewhere, to some community, to some family, to feel we are not alone, to find meaning and purpose in life. Family, homeland, and community are fertile lands where we can sow seeds and nurture a sense of belonging, find meaning in life. Spend time exploring your roots, learning about the history, culture, and traditions of your homeland and family to deeply feel the connection and cherish the values we inherit. Actively participate in community activities, contribute your strength to your homeland and country, to feel you are part of a large, strong collective, and find meaning in actions of dedication. As people often say, there's no place like home. This saying, though expressed in many different languages around the world, shares a profound meaning about the value of family and homeland. Home, family is where our hearts belong, where we find peace, happiness, and strength to face all of life's challenges. Always cherish and nurture your home because it is the final haven, a priceless source of strength, and the true meaning of life. In the context of modern families facing many challenges such as changes in family structure, economic pressures, and the influence of technology, preserving and promoting family values becomes even more urgent. In the context of modern families facing many challenges such as changes in traditional family structures, increasing economic pressures that force parents to work long hours, even away from home, or conflicts between generations due to differences in living views and values, and especially the increasing influence of technology and social media on family communication and cohesion, preserving and promoting family values becomes even more urgent. We need to actively nurture family values, build strong, meaningful relationships based on a foundation of respect, trust, and sincere love. Take time to listen, share, and understand loved ones, overcome difficulties and challenges together, and create beautiful memories, happy moments together. Turn your family into a peaceful oasis, where each member feels loved, valued, and belongs. Because no matter how turbulent life is, no matter how the world changes, family remains the core value, the solid foundation, and the priceless source of happiness for every human being. And once again, Odysseus's journey becomes a true reflection of the process of accepting change and growth. 20 years away from his homeland, Odysseus returned to Ithaca no longer the young, strong, and enthusiastic youth of the past. The arduous journey, filled with challenges and losses, had profoundly changed Odysseus, both in appearance, personality, experience, and especially in spiritual maturity. The image of Odysseus before embarking on the Trojan War was that of a young, talented, and valiant king, but also full of pride and confidence in his own strength. He was an excellent warrior, a talented leader, but sometimes also impulsive, hot-tempered, and lacking restraint. But the Odysseus who returned to Ithaca was a completely different man. His weathered appearance, marked by wind and dust, his silver-streaked hair and suntanned skin were clear signs of time and the hardships he had endured. More importantly, the most profound change occurred in his soul. Odysseus became calmer, more contemplative, more mature, and especially more humble. He had learned patience, resilience, self-control, and a greater appreciation for family and homeland values. The painful and loss-filled experiences had helped him see life more deeply, understand human nature better, and find the true meaning of life not in glory and victory, but in simplicity, family happiness, and connection to his roots. Every challenge on Odysseus's journey, from the encounter with the fierce Cyclops, the enchanting song of the sirens, to the journey to the gloomy underworld, were valuable lessons, contributing to his growth. The confrontation with the Cyclops Polyphemus taught Odysseus a lesson in humility, caution, and not being overconfident in his own strength. Defeating the giant monster with intelligence and cunning instead of brute force helped him realize that, sometimes, intellect and wisdom are even more powerful than physical strength. Overcoming the temptation of the siren's song trained Odysseus's willpower, self-control, and vigilance against empty promises. The journey to the underworld, facing the souls of the dead, helped Odysseus better understand the finiteness of human life, the value of the present, and the importance of cherishing relationships and loved ones while alive. Each challenge, each difficulty is not just an obstacle on the road, but also a life lesson, helping Odysseus grow more mature, perfect himself, and become a deeper, more experienced, and more resilient person. And even at the end of his life, hinted at in the epic Telegony, Odysseus continued to face change and accept the laws of life, which are old age and death. After returning to Ithaca, restoring his kingdom, and reuniting with his family, Odysseus did not live a life of ease, enjoying old age. He continued his adventures and explorations, and finally accepted death peacefully in his old age. Odysseus's acceptance of old age and death is not pessimism or resignation, but a deep understanding of natural law of the cycle of life. He had lived a full, meaningful life, experienced all emotions, learned countless valuable lessons, and in the end, he accepted to depart, leaving behind invaluable spiritual legacies for posterity. Odysseus's acceptance of old age and death is a testament to complete maturity, harmony with natural law, and peace in his soul. From Odysseus's journey of growth, we draw an extremely important lesson. Life is a continuous flow, and change is inevitable. No one can stop the river of time from flowing. No one can avoid life's changes. Instead of resisting change, learn to accept and adapt to it. See change as an opportunity to grow, to discover new things, and to renew yourself. Openly embrace the unexpected, the unforeseen challenges, and believe that after every rain, the sun will shine again. After every cold winter night, spring will come. The ability to accept change not only helps us reduce stress and anxiety, but also makes us more flexible, creative, and better adapted to all circumstances. And it is in the process of accepting change that we mature through experiences. Life is not a straight road, strewn with roses, but a bumpy, winding journey, with flat stretches interspersed with high passes and deep abysses. Experiences, whether good or bad, whether joyful or sad, are all valuable lessons, helping us grow more mature, stronger, and wiser. Cherish every experience, learn from mistakes and failures, and turn difficulties and challenges into motivation to rise up. Remember that experience is the greatest teacher, and each experience is a brick building our mature selves. In many cultures around the world, there are proverbs and idioms similar to the saying, "Old bamboo, new bamboo shoots," emphasizing the law of survival and the continuation of life. For example, in English there is "out with the old, in with the new," or in Latin there is "tempora mutantur, et nos mutamur in illis," times change, and we change with them. These sayings all express a universal truth. Life is a continuous flow, change is inevitable, and growth is a necessary process. Accept this natural law, live in harmony with the flow of life, and believe that change always brings new opportunities. Better things are waiting for us ahead. Odysseus's journey of growth can be related to the stages of human maturity in life. Youth is a stage of enthusiasm, exploration, and conquest, like Odysseus's participation in the Trojan War, full of bravery and thirst for victory. Middle age is a stage of challenges, responsibilities, and maturity of experience, like Odysseus's wanderings at sea, facing countless difficulties, losses, and learning valuable lessons. Old age is a stage of contemplation, acceptance, and seeking peace, like Odysseus's return to Ithaca, restoring his kingdom and accepting the laws of old age and death. At each stage, we face our own challenges and opportunities. Youth is an opportunity to discover oneself, learn knowledge, and build a foundation for the future. Middle age is an opportunity to develop a career, build a family, and contribute to society. Old age is an opportunity to enjoy life, share experiences, and seek peace in the soul. Live each stage of life to the fullest, embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, and seek meaning in every moment. Each person's life is a unique journey, with its own forks in the road, twists and turns, peaks and valleys. But no matter what that journey is like, always remember that change is inevitable. Growth is the goal, and acceptance is the key to living a meaningful and happy life. Learn from Odysseus, accept the flow of life, grow through experiences, and constantly strive to rise, to explore your full potential, and live a full, meaningful, and worthwhile life. Because life is like a flowing river, constantly moving, changing, and it is in that change that we find maturity, wisdom, and the true beauty of life. Imagine stepping into the world of the Odyssey is not just opening a book, but opening the door to your soul, embarking on a fantastical yet profoundly authentic adventure. From the very first lines, Homer paints a miniature universe, as multifaceted as humanity itself. From the island of Ogygia, where Calypso holds Odysseus captive, a terrestrial paradise with fruitful vineyards, verdant forests, and crystal-clear streams flowing gently. Isn't that an image of tranquility, of sweet temptations that make us forget our noble goals? Like Odysseus, even when promised immortality and eternal life by the beautiful goddess, he resolutely refuses, yearning to return to Ithaca to his family. Then comes the magnificent palace of Scheria, where Odysseus is honored. Amidst lavish feasts, melodious music, and graceful dances, isn't that the world of fame, of fleeting pleasures, easily leading us astray in the illusion of splendor? Odysseus once fell into Circe's embrace, indulging in pleasure for a long year, almost forgetting his goal of returning home. And finally, we cannot fail to mention the gloomy underworld, where Odysseus confronts wandering souls. Hearing them recount their tragedies, their pains, and the secrets of the past, Isn't that the deepest region in each person's soul, where we must face the shadows, the remorse, the indelible memories? The world of the Odyssey, therefore, is not just a magnificent stage for mythological adventures, but also a map of the soul, guiding us on a journey to discover ourselves, confronting temptations, challenges, and the underworld, regions hidden deep within each of us. In that wondrous world, the mythological characters stepping out from the pages are not merely superhuman beings, but also clothed in the human cloak, with all the qualities and even flaws of humanity. Imagine Zeus, the supreme god on Mount Olympus, holding thunderbolts in his hand, symbolizing absolute power, yet still unable to escape fits of anger, jealousy, and contradictory decisions. A testament that even deities are not perfect, also governed by very human emotions. Zeus's decision to punish Odysseus, though somewhat biased towards Poseidon, also reveals the complexity of the divine world, not always clearly just and fair. Athena, Odysseus's patron goddess, is not only the embodiment of wisdom and courage, but also a symbol of companionship, of the voice of conscience constantly urging the hero to overcome all hardships. The image of Athena frequently appearing to help Odysseus, from advising Telemachus to transforming into mentor to accompany Odysseus, demonstrates the deep concern and wise guidance of intellect. And Poseidon, the wrathful god of the sea, relentlessly creating storms and tempests, hindering Odysseus's journey solely because of his arrogance and the blinding of his son, Polyphemus, a reminder of the inevitable punishment when humans err, while also expressing the justice and strictness of the divine world. Poseidon's wrath lasted for 10 long years, plunging Odysseus into countless dangers, showing the heavy price to pay for arrogance and disrespect towards the divine. The Odyssey also depicts countless bizarre monsters, each with a gruesome form and terrifying power, but hidden behind that fearsome exterior are profound lessons about the perils, the temptations that always lie in wait for humans on life's path. Cyclops Polyphemus, the one-eyed giant symbolizing savagery and lack of civilization, but also a warning about blindness, about the selfish ego that can destroy everything. The sirens, with their deadly enchanting songs, symbolize sweet temptation, deception, but also represent illusions, fleeting desires that can lead us astray. Scylla and Charybdis, two monsters guarding the Strait of Messina, symbolize agonizing choices, dilemmas, but also a reminder of the necessity to make decisions, even if sometimes having to accept losses to move forward. And we cannot forget the goddesses and sorceresses full of power and allure like Calypso, Circe, embodiments of the temptations of pleasure, of shirking responsibility, and the danger of losing oneself in fleeting passions. Each mythological character in the Odyssey, whether divine or monstrous, is a piece in the panoramic picture of humanity, of noble qualities and weaknesses, errors, of the ability to rise and the risk of falling. The elements of fantasy and magic in the Odyssey are not just a magical cloak draped over the story, but also the key to unlocking deeper layers of meaning. The gods can intervene in human life, control the weather, transform shapes, bestow miraculous powers, reflecting the ancient Greeks' belief in supernatural power, in the sway of fate, and simultaneously expressing the dream of humanity's boundless capabilities. For example, Athena's ability to transform, Zeus's punishment by thunderbolts, or Circe's transformative magic, all demonstrate the powerful intervention of the divine world in earthly life. The monsters with extraordinary strength, special abilities, create seemingly insurmountable challenges for the hero, symbolizing the difficulties, the objective and subjective obstacles that humans must face on life's journey, demanding courage, wisdom, and extraordinary willpower to overcome. The trials Odysseus faces with the Cyclops, Sirens, Scylla, and Charybdis are all harsh tests, requiring him to utilize all his physical and mental strength to overcome. Circe's magic turning men into swine, the Sirens' songs enchanting anyone, the gates of the underworld opening the way to death. All are metaphors for the mysterious, unpredictable things in life, the invisible forces governing human destiny, and also the potential, extraordinary capabilities of human imagination and soul. Odysseus's ability to descend into the underworld and return, confronting the souls of the dead, can be seen as a symbol of humanity's ability to face inner darkness, overcome the fear of death to seek the meaning of life. These elements of fantasy and magic not only create a mysterious, captivating space, but also open up a multi-layered, multi-meaning symbolic world, where each reader can freely decode, explore, and seek lessons for themselves. Exploring the mythological world of the Odyssey is not just a simple entertainment, but a journey of nurturing the soul and intellect, bringing invaluable educational and creative values. The Greek mythological world in general, and the Odyssey in particular, has become an endless source of inspiration for art, literature, cinema, music, and countless other creative fields throughout human history. Stories about gods, monsters, wondrous adventures have ignited the rich imagination of generations of artists, writers, filmmakers, musicians, architects, and created timeless classics with a powerful vitality in the flow of human culture. From painting, sculpture, to music, drama, cinema, and modern literature, the imprint of the Odyssey and Greek mythology is always present, proving the enormous and lasting influence of the work. When we immerse ourselves in the world of the Odyssey, we are not only enjoying a literary work, but also learning, reflecting on the eternal problems of humanity, on moral values, on aspirations and fears, on limitations and potentials. We are free to soar in the boundless space of imagination, to explore the hidden capabilities of the mind, and more importantly, to be inspired to create, to live a meaningful and richer life, daring to dream, daring to act, and daring to overcome all limits. Moreover, the Odyssey is also a magical door leading us into the world of ancient Greek culture, the solid foundation of Western civilization, to understand more deeply the cultural and spiritual origins of ourselves. Through the story of Odysseus, we are not just reading a classic literary work, but also reading a brilliant culture, an ancient society with unique values, beliefs, customs, and practices. We can learn about polytheism, about the role of the gods in the spiritual life of the ancient Greeks, about the concept of heroism, about honor, about hospitality, about the reverence for intellect and art, and about the importance of family and community in society. For example, the way Odysseus is warmly welcomed at the palace of Alcinous, or how Telemachus welcomes Athena disguised as mentor, clearly demonstrates the value of hospitality highly regarded in ancient Greek culture. Understanding ancient Greek culture not only helps us cherish the invaluable cultural heritage of humanity, but also helps us have a more multidimensional and profound view of the origins and development of Western civilization, of the universal cultural values that humanity has been, is, and will continue to pursue on the path of progress. The Odyssey is not just a classic literary work, but also a vivid history lesson, helping us connect with the past to better understand the present and orient ourselves for the future, becoming more aware of our position in the flow of human culture. And most importantly, transcending all mythological, fantastical, and cultural values, the Odyssey remains an immortal epic about eternal human values, profound lessons about humanity and life, still retaining its illuminating value to this day. The story of Odysseus's arduous 10-year journey home is not just a wondrous adventure on the sea, but also a symbolic journey for each person's life, with difficulties, challenges, temptations, and fateful choices. The Odyssey teaches us about courage to face adversity, patience to overcome hardships, resilience after failure, self-control to master oneself, the sacred value of family and homeland, and also the acceptance of change to mature and perfect oneself. The image of Odysseus resolutely overcoming countless storms, never giving up hope of returning home, is a great source of motivation for each of us on the journey of life. These values are not only true for the ancient Greeks, but also timeless, spaceless, becoming universal truths, illuminating the path of humanity on the journey to find the meaning of life, happiness, and perfection. Exploring the mythological world of the Odyssey is not just a simple literary adventure, but also a journey of self-discovery, seeking the meaning of life, and connecting with universal human values, transcending all limits of time and space. Let the wondrous and profound world of the Odyssey broaden your soul, ignite your boundless imagination, and become an endless source of inspiration, accompanying you on the journey of life, helping you live a meaningful, complete, and worthwhile life. Our journey of exploring the Odyssey comes to a close here, but the profound lessons from Odysseus's adventure still resonate in our minds. From patience and persistence on the long road, the powerful resilience after stumbles, self-control to overcome temptations, the sacred value of family and homeland, to accepting change and maturity as an inevitable law, these 5 core lessons have revealed the secrets to living a meaningful, complete, and worthwhile life. The Odyssey is not just a captivating entertainment story, but also a great work of literature, a priceless treasure of knowledge, offering timeless advice and lessons, illuminating the path of each generation. The enduring value of the Odyssey lies in its ability to touch the deepest aspects of humanity, reflecting the aspirations, the challenges, and the universal values that humankind always pursues. The story of Odysseus, though written thousands of years ago, remains deeply relevant, still capable of inspiring and awakening the souls of modern readers. Be brave to step onto the ship of your own life, face challenges with patience, recover from failures with inner strength, control yourself against temptations, cherish family and homeland as a peaceful harbor, and accept all changes as opportunities for growth. Let the spirit of the Odyssey accompany you on your life's journey so that every step, every decision is directed towards self-perfection and building a meaningful life. As the poet Constantine Cavafy wrote, "May your journey be long, full of adventures, full of discoveries." Turn your life into your own Odyssey, a journey of continuous exploration, growth, and the search for meaning, so that when you look back, you can proudly say, "I have lived a life worth living."